Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully, you guys are having a lovely Friday. Cannot believe we just completed basically the first week of September. It's ridiculous, but here we are. All right, so this should be a quick reminder that, hey, time is short, time is money, and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so you better seize the day. So as you guys are coming on in, go ahead and tap away, but I am not going to be like bombarding you guys with, hey, let's get 1,000 before I start talking. If you want to tap, you want to tap, because I do have news about what I'm going to be doing for future sessions, because Mamacita over here, or actually Mama, is going to have to make some changes. And there are going to be some drastic change, but there are going to be some similarities. So just stay tuned for that. So as you guys all know, if you can or cannot stay the whole time, I understand. It's a Friday night. You know, you guys want to party, do with your little things. Just keep it legal, because I do not have bail money, okay? Don't be trying to text me at 2 o'clock in the morning like, hi, Miss Audrey, because I ain't going to do it, okay? So if anything, you can go to your YouTube channel, okay, your YT channel. Go ahead and type this in, and you can actually see all the replays of all my TikToks since February 2nd. So, and if there's some other things I have on there, a couple shorts and all these things, if you want to dabble into, you can do so. So if anything, I would love for you to do these 5 things. Go ahead, click the bell for that notification, and then we can take it from there. All right. So we have 17 coming in here. Hey, Big Al, how's everyone doing? D nice. What's going on? Marvelli, hello. So glad you guys are here. Thank you up. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but we are going to continue on this lovely saga of solving inequalities. But this time we're going to take it a step up. We're going to look at those multi-steps, how we can get multiple ways of getting our answer. All right. So let's just get started. If you guys can tap, that'll be great. If you can't, hey, that's fine. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy. But if anything, definitely want you to participate. Now, just like solving an equation, the key focus, let me zoom in and slide over. This is always going to be our goal. We want to isolate that variable, okay? So since we're going to be doing multi-step, you are going to see basically the same variable, but you might see it more than once, okay, in the inequality. So let me show you what I am talking about. So if we have, let's keep it simple. Let's start slow. So let's say we have 5K minus 2K is going to be greater than -9. Okay? So 5K minus 2K is equal to -9. So we notice that we have 2Ks, and they're on the same side of the equal side. Well, not the equal side, the same side of the inequality. So we can go ahead and combine that, since they're on the same side. A lot of people think that, oh no, I'm going to have to do subtracting on both sides. No. If they're on the same side, combine them. They're like terms. So this is going to give me 3K. Then I'm going to bring down my greater than -9. Now I want to divide both sides by 3K. The reason why I'm dividing is because 3K, if I don't see a plus or minus sign in between the 3 and the variable, that means that this whole thing is multiplication. The inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 3 because why? We want to isolate the variable, okay? So when we do that, our 3's are going to cancel out because 3 divided by 3 gives me 1, and we can have 1K or just K. Now, -9 divided by 3, that gives me a -3. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, we got to flip this thing. No, we do not. We do not have to flip it because look what we did right here. Okay? We divided by a positive 3. Okay? Since we divided by a positive 3, that inequality sign stays exactly the same. It only flips when we are doing the act of multiplying or dividing by a negative number. Not just because our result is negative, because at this step right here, if we divide it by a negative number, that's when we change the inequality sign. Okay, so it is still going to be k is greater than negative 3. Don't forget about the negatives, okay? So if we go ahead and graph it, we don't have to make our graph so ginormous because we're not going to do negative infinity all the way. We're just going to put our answer right smack in the middle. So we have our negative 3. And since it is a greater than symbol, okay, so greater than gives me an open circle. So it says k is greater than negative 3. It's not including negative 3. It is larger than negative 3. So they want us to start at negative 3 and go all the way up to positive infinity. Okay, we're going all the way up to positive infinity. So with that being said, some of us may or may not remember there's something called the interval notation. So with the interval notation, it's almost like shorthand for math, if I may put it so. So interval notations, you're basically dealing with parentheses and with brackets. So you always start with the lowest number. So the lowest number right now is going to be our negative 3 because my highest number goes all the way to positive infinity. Now here's the thing, and I'll even show you the notes that we did last time because that might help you out a little bit. So when you have less than or greater than, you're always using parentheses. If you do less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, you do brackets. So let's put it this way. It's like a dog in a kennel. The dog can get up, maybe shift a little bit, plant themselves somewhere and make himself or herself a little comfortable, but they're inside a kennel. They're included with the house, they're inside the room, but they are embraced inside the kennel. So that is going to be my brackets. When you are having an equal to, you're including that number. Whereas if it's just less than or greater than, we're going to have parentheses. So it's almost like, as I said last night, your stretch pants for like around Thanksgiving. You want to eat, right? So you always wear the nice comfy stretch pants because you're going to expand. There's always room for pie, right? There's always room. So you are basically saying, I'm going to stretch it out, but it doesn't really have a huge limitation, just like infinity. Okay. So the infinity always, if you see it right here, positive infinity or negative infinity, they always get parentheses because they're called unbounded. It can keep stretching and stretching and stretching, just like me in my comfy pants during Thanksgiving and Christmas and Halloween. Hell, Kwanzaa. We're doing all of that thing. We're doing everything. Okay, so back here, since it is greater than, we're going to have a parenthesis because we're not including the negative 3. And here we have a positive infinity. They always get a parenthesis. Okay? So this covers not only inequalities, it also covers what's called that interval notation. I think a lot of classes are starting to get into that now. It also covers what's called that interval notation. I think a lot of classes are starting to get into that now. All right. All right. Oh, thanks. Okay, not a problem, Coach Me. Not a problem. All right. So let's go to the next step. Okay, let's go to another one. Let me challenge you a little bit. Just a little challenge. Let's say you a little bit. Just a little challenge. Let's say. Okay, let's do this one. So we have -9 is greater than -5n minus 4n. Okay, let me move that over a little bit. Let's go by. So we have to recognize the less than greater sign. All right, nice. Biggest craziest frog fan. All right, not a problem. Good. Oh, which one? What state are you in, Coach Me? Because I used to do that. Okay. What grade is this? This is like Algebra 1. Whenever a child gets in Algebra 1. Sometimes it's 7th grade. I actually know a kid that's in 6th grade that's in Algebra 1. So whatever grade they're in Algebra 1. Massachusetts? Oh, okay. Yeah, I used to do that in Maryland. Like not too long ago. I was there for like 13 months. Yeah. That's when I learned how to teach. Because everything is a weapon. This is a weapon. This can be a weapon. This, yep, that's a weapon. We don't even want to talk about these. That's contraband. That's a weapon. So, you know, I get it. And don't know how to do this, and kids learn this in 7th grade. That's all right, Danielle. Shoot. Give yourself some grace. All right? Give yourself some grace. Remember, sometimes kids nowadays get more opportunities than we did back then. Usually it was just like, oh, you don't know how to do it? Okay, let's just put you in the back of the classroom and play with a puzzle. How's that going to help me? Instead of having a person break things down. So give yourself a little bit of grace. All right. So right here, again, we have like terms. And you're doing the exact same thing. Although it's on the right-hand side of the inequality, you're still doing the same thing. So we got our -9. We have greater than. Now, -5n minus 4n. Both of them are negative, so we're going to add them. Okay, you owe me $5, and for some reason you needed another loan of $4. That means you owe me $9. Okay? Now, what we need to do, we need to isolate the variable. We don't have to add 9 on this side and then add 9 on that side and change in directions. You can do that. You can do that. But I'm thinking about those people that are trying to get their GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER. They're just beginning in algebra or Algebra 1. And I think the less confusion, the better. All right, but I know that this -9 that's in front of this n needs to go because I need to isolate my variable. So I'm going to I'm going to divide both sides by -9. So -9 divided by -9 gives me 1, but we have a 1n. Okay. -9 divided by -9. Over here, I need to put a 1 because I don't have anything else on this side. If I just cancel out, I have air. Okay? Always got to even things out. Now, we divided by a -9. What must happen? Okay? What must happen? Good. B.O. B.O. You really want to call yourself that? Okay. Better flip that sign. Yes. Oh, hey, VC. You came over here. Good job. So, yes, we'll flip that sign. You know, kind of flip. Yes, flip. I'm learning this right now. You need to change that less than sign. Yes, flip. Yes. Oh, yeah. All right, so instead of greater than, we're going to make it less than. Now, the way that we read this, just like if you're here in the States, I can't assume, we read from left to right. So we're saying 1 is less than n. So 1 is lower than whatever values we have for n. If this is messing up your mind and you're just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. Can we change it? Yes, we can. So if we change it, that means the n is coming over here. Instead of a less than, notice how it opens to the n. So we make it greater than, and then we put the 1 here. So this is saying n is greater than 1. They're both telling me the same stuff, but I know we like to be comfortable. It's almost like the comfy pants at Thanksgiving and all major holidays, okay? So now that we have this, we're going to draw our number line. We're going to put our answer of 1 down, okay? If you want to do the whole number line, have fun. Go ahead. You keep forgetting. I'm lazy, all right? So since it is just, and I'll use what's in green because I know this is how you guys are reading it. Since you just have greater than, is it going to be open or closed? Is my dot going to be open or closed? All right, so we got open. Open circle with April, open with VC. Marvelli, open, good. Math teacher as well. Okay, look at all these math teachers just chilling. All right, BL, we got open, good. Keeping it open. So now we have n is greater than 1. So which way am I shading? To the left or to the right? Am I going to negative infinity or am I going to positive infinity? Okay, Barney, am I supposed to call you Brawny? Burani? I don't know. Okay, so you're saying to the right, Mavelli to the right. Raby saying, Rabe saying right. Okay, we love numbers. That's why we're all here enjoying the ride. Yeah. Go on the ride to Crazy Train. All right, April saying to right. Mazzo, how are you? Positive, good. Sharon, right. Hello, Sharon. Welcome in. Barnett shooting trees like there's nothing. Bomb. Okay, all right. Enjoy. So yes, we are going to be shading to the right all the way to positive infinity. So now, if I want to put this in interval notation, you always start with the lowest number. So my lowest number is 1. The highest number, positive infinity. And since it doesn't have a line underneath, it's just going to be a parenthesis. And infinities always get a parenthesis. Okay, good. Good evening, Addicted. How are you? All right. Okay, Norkin, good. All right. Questions so far before I start putting in parentheses in our inequalities. Okay, if you have questions, go ahead and put it in. Doing good? Awesome. Awesome. All right. No, a free website that can print homework. A free website that can print homework. Like your homework or like you're looking for problems? Because if you're looking for problems, you can go to Tutor Hour. That's actually a really good website. It's brand spanking new. It's usually for tutors, but it's open to everyone else. Okay, if graphed it'll be shaded up. No. Okay, right now we just have one variable. When we only have one variable, that means we're looking at a number line. Okay, if we only have one variable, we're looking for a number line, and it's either going left or right. So you're looking for problems? Yeah, if anything, just put it in your whatever the topic is, put it in a search and type the word worksheet after it. And usually you get like a whole ton of stuff. And you just have to peruse through and see which one rocks your boat, which one really connects with your students. That's usually the one that I kind of do. So sometimes Tutor Hour works. Sometimes, what's the one that everyone uses? What is it, CUTA? It's like KUTA. Okay. So sometimes it depends on the content. Sometimes you can just look. There might be other teachers that posted worksheets on them as well. So take a look. All right. Okay. April, graph it? What are you talking about? We already did. Are you all right? You need a hug? What's going on? We're having a little bit of complications. End of the day, just want to have a mental breakdown. It's okay. Let it out. We all have our emotions a little riled up, especially after a long weekend. You know, school just started and all that. Okay, can you please check your TikTok messages after class? Sure. I can do that. Because sometimes people will put messages in there and it's just a hi, I'll delete it. So you guys have to tell me in detail, like what exactly you want. But I will definitely check afterwards. Okay. All right. Okay. So looking at this, 33 plus 4x is less than or equal to negative x plus 7. Okay, one, breathe. Because you're probably like, oh my God, there's a parenthesis. It's all right. It's okay. We're going to get through this. All right? It's perfectly fine. Yeah, some people will just type in just hi. And I'm like, nope, I delete it. Because last week, well, not last week, this week, I was like sugar daddy central. I don't know what was going on. They're like, are you looking for a sugar daddy? And I'm like, you know, the way life is happening. We're all just one situation away from the pole. Just want to say that. Okay. Yes, so we're going to... No, why? You're doing this in your head? Awesome. All right, so Rod is saying distribute the -1. It's true. We're all one situation away from the pole, 2 situations from jail. Just want to put that out there. And it's the weekend. Calm it down. Just stay home. All right. Janice is saying 1x plus a -8. Okay. All right. So when we distribute... And if we don't see a number next to our negative sign, that means it's a -1. It's assumed to be a 1 there. A lot of people say, oh, the teacher says that x is 1. X is any number. They're talking about the coefficient of the x is 1. So when I distribute, when I have negative times x, I get negative x. And then I have a negative times a positive 7. A negative times a positive gives me a negative, and I bring down my 7. So everything else is coming on down like the price is right. Don't act like y'all don't be watching The Price is Right, especially on snow days. It used to be that and Maury Povich many years ago. So now... this is what gets a lot of students. The fact that you have the same variable on both sides of the inequality. And a lot of people are just like, and they forget there's an inequality. All of a sudden, like this disappears, and then they just start combining those. No. Okay, we have to put all our x's on one side of the inequality and all our constants on the other side of the inequality. So what we could do is we could add x on both sides if you want your x's to be on the left-hand side. Okay, you know, we just want to get rid of our x's. So what's left is our 33. Now 4x plus 1x, that will give us 5x. Bringing down my less than or equal to. And then keeping my negative 7. Okay, how are we doing? All right. That's okay. We're here to make the adjustments, okay, guys? Do not be afraid. If you make a mistake, guess what? You can erase it. You can cross it out. This is not Squid Games. We're not going to off you, okay? Everything's fine. Stop panicking, okay? Society has put that thing in your head that you have to be first, always first. Well, guess what? You don't, all right? You don't get anything. You don't get a gold star. Maybe a little okay from me. That's about it. That's it. All right. So now our x's are all on one side. Nice, beautifully combined. What do we need to get rid of this time? What do we need to move? Put it in the chat. What do we need to move? I think someone already said it earlier. I think it was Rod. Yes, and my symbol with the 33. Cancel out. Well, we can't cancel out the 5x's because there's only one. We have a 34. We have a 30. Okay, the 33. Good, the 33. How did I get the 5x? Well, if I add the x over here, 4x plus, when we see an x, it's assumed that there is a 1 in front. 4 plus 1, that gives me my 5x. Okay, so we got our 33. Yes, we're going to subtract 33. Good, there's no 40s. All right, so we are going to, let me get my green, subtract the 33 on both sides. But that will give us, oh, that's where you're coming from. So we have our 5x is still less than or equal to, but we have a negative 40. Okay. You must be tired. Yes, we're all tired. All right. Okay. All right, so we subtract the 33. That inequality sign does not change. But what do we do next? I think Rod mentions it. A couple other people. Is that my? Saying divide. Okay, so now. Okay, 5x now. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're going to divide both sides by the 5. Good. Now, whoever said 5x now with all caps, you need to settle yourself because that is not tolerated in this live. All right, so negative 40 divided by 5. This will give us our negative 8. And do I need to flip the inequality sign? So it's not negative 8x, it's just negative 8. Okay, so Rich is saying no, Kai is saying no, is saying no, Jens is saying no, Rod's saying no, Marbelli saying no, Lika saying yes, Jordan saying yes, Esta saying no with a question mark. Okay, Goober saying no. Oh, sorry. Hint saying no. Sharon saying yes. Okay, Sniff saying yes. My Queen saying no. Okay, we divide it by a positive 5. It's not the answer that we get. It's what we divide by. So we divided by a positive 5. My inequality stays exactly the same. Okay, it only flips when right here, grab my highlighter for a second, only when this section, that section right there, if you divide it by a negative 5, that's when you flip the inequality. Okay, does that make sense now? Okay, you thought so? Okay, so when do we do calculus? Never. You're new to my thing, aren't you? I never do calculus. Okay, for me, my people that I would love to be here, and you're more than welcome to stay, is for people that have been fearful of math all their lives. and I'm trying to help them break that barrier. That's one. People that are trying to get them confidence back up so they can get and pass the GED, the ASVAB, get their scores up so they don't have to take any like piss poor jobs. The ACCUPLACER so they can get into college algebra. So I'm here to build people up, okay? Trying to break a little barriers. So if it gets a little too slow for you, I love you, but you can go. It's all right. Trust me, I'm not going to go crying in the corner. All right? So when we are graphing it, okay, for my person that was freaking out earlier talking about we're graphing vertically, no, it's always X, left to right. So we have our -8. Now we look at our inequality. We got less than or equal to. So this is not less than equal to. It's not less than equal. It's not less than greater than. This is less than or equal to. That means it's including -8. So if we're including -8, it's going to be a closed or just a dot. And it's saying X is less than -8. And we're going to go, just like Norkin said, we're going to go to the left. And Kai said it as well. Jordan says closed. Yes, Rod, closed circle. I love how we say closed circle. I was like, why can't we just say it's a dot? But we're going to keep going all the way to -infinity. Okay? So this is when you have to be cautious if you're going to be doing the interval notation. Now, the interval notation, what is my smallest number? What is my smallest number? Kai is saying -infinity. Okay. Hank's saying -infinity. Hank? I'm saying -infinity. You don't have to be fancy. You could just say neg-in. Or you can say NIF. That's fine too. Okay. Thank you for sharing a lot. Okay. So the lowest number is always what's to the extreme left. Okay. That's going to be my -infinity. So I'm going to write my -infinity. And we're going up to and including -8. So since we're including -8, that's going to be a bracket. And my infinities, no matter what, is always a parenthesis. So that's what it looks like as interval notation. Okay. Questions? Right. Is there a shorter way to do this? Nope. This is it. Yep. Ooh, some comments were filtered. What are you guys saying? You nasty. All right. So let me see. Let me see if I can give one for you. Why does -8 use a bracket? Not a problem. Good question. So anytime we have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, that means we're including that number. So it will be a bracket. If it's just less than or greater than, it will always be a parenthesis. So in this case, since our inequality was less than or equal to, it has a line underneath it, that means we're including our -8. So that's why it has a bracket. Whereas the other two that we did, take a look at this one, it was just greater than. It didn't have a line underneath it. So that's why we used a parenthesis. Same happened with this one. It was just greater than. It didn't have a line underneath it. So that's why we used a parenthesis. But anytime it has a line underneath, you put a bracket. Okay. Is this college algebra? It's usually taught in college algebra, especially the beginning, because you all know that college algebra just throws everything. Not a problem. They throw everything at you in a matter of 8 weeks. I don't know how you guys can get all of algebra, college algebra in 8 weeks. Dude, I have no idea how you do it. God bless you. All right, so let's see if you guys can do one by yourself. They're like, no. We'll keep it relatively simple. Keep it relatively kosher. Let me put it back where I was, because I'm like about to fall off the table. Okay. All right, someone decides to shoot off fireworks. Nice. Okay, give this one a try. Now, right now, I would love for you to give it a try. Do not put your answers in just yet. You can type it in, but don't hit send. Okay, I'm going to tell you when to flash up your answers. Is it Edita? It's like, I never understood the brackets. I'm learning about this in algebra in college right now. Okay. So the key part, I'm going to kind of put it here. So anytime it's less than or greater than, it's always parentheses. If it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, you always use brackets. So it's almost like if I were to say, if I'm doing a number line, and I might actually graph the next one as a number line. Okay. All right. Almost there. Anna. Slow down. Okay, ready? Go ahead. Flash them up. What we got? So Anna says P is less than or equal to -3. What are some other answers? We have P is less than or equal to -3. And we also have an open at -infinity, and then a bracket on -3. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, SD is saying -3 is greater than or equal to 4. -6 is greater than P. We got for Norkin. Okay, you agree. Okay, S to P rather. Okay. Okay, taking a look. P is greater than or equal to -3. I don't know how to put it in my phone. Okay. If you type out, you can type out. So we got -3 is greater than or equal to P. That's what Jordan squared has. Okay. So let's take a look. We have like terms right here with 6 and 4. So in actuality, it's a -2 greater than or equal to 4p plus 10. So now we want to get p by itself. That's the goal. So right now, over on this side of the equal sign, we want to keep 4p right where it is. So that means we're going to subtract our 10. So negative 2 minus 10, since both of them are negative, you're going to keep the signage and add them together. Keep with the negative or greater than or equal to 4p. So now we want to divide both sides by 4. So negative 12 divided by 4, that gives us a negative 3. And since we divide it by a positive number, my inequality stays exactly the same. So we have negative 3 is greater than or equal to p. But if you don't like it that way, because this is saying that negative 3 is larger than all the other numbers, if we want to switch it, we could put the p here, change the direction of inequality, and bring down the negative 3. If you rather read it from left to right. So basically you're switching everything down. It's almost like if you have a bunch of cards on the ground and you pick it up and you slide it over and it goes over to the side. Yeah, that whole thing. So now if I want to graph it, and I'm going to graph it as an interval notation. Boom, we have our negative 3. Okay, let me raise that up. Now, since it has a line underneath, okay, that normally would be a bracket. We're saying p is less than or equal to negative 3. So that means our shading is going all the way to negative infinity. So if I were to put this, my smallest number will be negative infinity. My largest number will be negative 3. And since there's a line underneath, it will be a bracket, right? Parenthesis for the inequality. But if I were to graph this as an interval notation, we're not using dots. We're going to be using either parentheses or brackets. But since it's including the negative 3, how I would write it is a bracket opening towards where all the other points are. That's a little twist. You're like, ooh, I know. Okay. So if I wanted to graph it as an interval notation, I can put that bracket, same bracket that I would get here, and notice it's opening to the left because this is where all those numbers that's going to make this into a true statement. So it opens to the way that all the points are going to be, make it a true statement. And you just need just that one bracket. Okay. Nope, don't change it. Do not change it. Okay. All right. So it would be a closed circle if we were doing as an interval. I mean, not as an interval, as an inequality, but I decided to do it as an interval notation. Okay, if you just do it as an interval notation, you will still carry over that bracket and parentheses stuff. All right. Google slide. Okay, good. Yep, so all they did was carried what they did as the interval notation. They just carried it into the graph. Okay, yes, we're definitely going to got a couple more examples. Okay, questions. Okay, thank you so much for the follow, guys, and the taps. I appreciate it. I know, you didn't know you were going to be doing this on a Friday night, now did you? Nope. All right, so while I'm setting up the other example, if you guys can do a little mad tap Let's see if we can get up to like either, let's say 6. That'll be great. Let's see. They have this in the GED? Yes, definitely. Yes, they do. And sometimes they put the interval notation in there as well. Okay. Will you go over domain and range? Not tonight, but I will. Okay. When is book 6 coming out? When this book is empty. We still got that much left. So it's going to be a while. Yep. When this is empty. Oh, they're lost right now? Okay. Well, let's see. Let's get you situated. Sometimes it cracks me up when people just come on the live and they're like, I'm so lost. I'm like, dude, you just got here. Like, give yourself a break. Jeez. What do you guys do all week? Just come in here stressed. Okay, so let me instruct this one. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Okay, do I sell these books blank? Yes. These are my ultimate math notebooks. So they come blank like this. So you'll have like your mood checker, which is good for classroom and also for homeschool parents and students. A space for you to do all your work. Also, as you guys can see, has a formula section. Also a place where you can put your steps and then carry over into the grid side. So you can do all your notes in here, take bits and pieces of it. So in addition to the notes section, you also have a reference section. So with the reference section, zoink, you'll have your factor sheets going on from 1 to 200. So all of my math teachers out here, this could save you a lot of time when it comes to factoring. The least common multiple, also just trying to find like breaking down radicals. A lot of my students love this that I do for my tutoring kids. Then you have the operations, what words and terms. Also you have your squares and your cubes. Then also you have your inequalities, your interval notations. That looks familiar. Then you have your rules of integers. Also, your linear and your quadratics with your order operations, properties, equations, decimal operations, just in case they forget what to do with the decimals for the different operations. Same with the fraction operations as well. And then going from percent to decimal, fractions to decimal, blah, blah, blah. Then you have your place values. Then you have your mean, median, mode, variation, distance, speed, and time. So this will be great, especially people that are just trying to get their knowledge down with the GED. Then we have the arithmetic and the geometric sequence. So everything's here. System of equations, system of inequalities, graphing linear inequalities. This is what that other person in the chat was talking about with the rise and the run, Pythagorean theorem, trig, area, perimeter, and then also conversions. Okay, all wrapped up in a nice, neat little area. Okay, so I am actually having a sale on this. If anyone wants to, all you have to do is if you ever want to, all the sales are going to be here. Each of my books are usually like $20-something. I'm actually selling it for $10.29, not including taxes, of course. Of course, right? So usually most of my books, if I order, I'm here in the States, I'm in Maryland, and they usually come from like North Carolina. It takes like a week. You know, I'll get my stuff usually in a week. So if you're interested in buying that, you got your notebooks, you can come here to Books by Audrey, got Audrey Codner, and you can just purchase your books there. Okay. All right. You hate linear inequalities. Why do you hate them? So much aggression. Okay. Super helpful already. Not a problem, Nikki. Not a problem. Oh, this is yesterday's. Here we go. All right, good. I'm glad that this is really being helpful, because there are days I wonder if it is helpful at all, or I'm just sitting here just chit-chatting away. All right, so let's walk ourselves through this. So we have -5. Oh, thanks for the taps. -5 times 2b plus 7 plus b is less than -b minus 11. Yes, lots of b's, but we can definitely get this done. So when we take a look, first thing that I would like to do is distribute this -5 to everything inside of its parenthesis. Not the whole thing, just the parenthesis. Okay, what do I get once I distribute? Put it in the chat, please. Okay, thank you for the follows and the shares. I appreciate it. Okay, there's something missing, Janice. Okay, you saw it. Okay, good. All right. So other than that, yes. Okay, Taco Suncat. Okay, saying -10b, -35. Nikki, -10b and 35. Okay, you can also put the plus, or, you know. And then I have my JB, my person from another Mr. saying -10b minus 35. JB, -10b minus 35. Fabulous boss lady. -10b minus 35. Esther, -10b minus 35. Danielle, -10b minus 35. Sharon, -10b. Just that one other thing. What's the other one when you distribute, Sharon? And Marvelli saying -10b minus 35. Jordan Squared said -10b plus -35. Yes. All right, so we have -10b. And you can say minus 35. If you said plus -35, that is the same thing. So now we're just bringing down our plus b over here, our less than, our -b over here, minus 11. I know it's really tempting to say, oh, there's a plus b and there's a minus b. I can cancel them. No, because they have this less than symbol in between them. Okay, so if you want to think of it, it's almost like the inequality is like a barrier. This is one side, that's the other side. Okay, so we can't just go ahead mixing things up. So now, there you go, Sharon. Good. Here we are. So now, let me cover up this side. Let's see, what can we combine on this side of the inequality? What can we combine, and what would that answer be? Okay, Jordan saying the B's. Good. Okay, Sharon said the B's. Is that Millie or me saying the B's? All right, my symbol saying -9b minus 35. The B's, Big Al B's. Okay, not 35b. Okay, that 35 does not have a b. So what we're combining is our like terms. So good. Fabulous. We're saying B's. Kind of -9b. Good. Okay, Luna, B. Yes. Marbelli, -9b. Good. Why B? Because we have two B's. We only want one B in our life. Can you imagine two of me? That's crazy. We only need one Audrey Codner in this world. Trust me. You only know the fun little side of me. You don't want two. Okay, so we need to combine them. So -10 plus 1. If you owe me $10 and you paid me $1, that means you still owe me $9. Give me my money. Okay, and then I bring down the negative 35. We cannot combine that 35 with the 9b because that 35 doesn't have a b. They're not the same. They can be like, dating, but not really dating, right? You can't hold hands. You can cross knuckles, but that's it, okay? So now we're bringing down our less than, and we're bringing down this negative b minus 11. So if I look over here, I don't have anything to combine. I have a negative b and a negative 11. Those are not like terms. But when you're solving, okay, let's focus here. Okay? When you're solving, you need to get your b's on one side of the inequality, okay? You can pick which side you want, okay? We might have to make some movements. But if you want, without doing too much movement, we can add this b with this negative 9b. When I do that, you owe me $9, you paid me $1. That means you owe me $8. These b's will cancel out. So with that happening, bring down my negative 35, bring down my less than, and bring down the negative 11. That comes down here. So now I want to add 35. When I add the 35s, negative 35 plus 35 will cancel out. One moment, guys. Got to do this stupid puzzle piece. Okay. Oops. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we have our negative 8b less than. So we have a negative 11 and a 35. Okay, so when the signs are unlike, we do subtraction. So it's almost like, all right, I have $35 and I spent 11. That means I have $24 left. Okay, so by having myself cover it, now I can focus my attention on one thing. So if you're wondering why she keeps covering it, because we need to focus our attention. Because when you see it like this, it's like, ah! It's like me getting up early in the morning. Not pretty. Not pretty at all. Okay, so now I want to divide both sides by negative 8, excuse me. So negative 8 divided by negative 8, we have our b. 24 divided by negative 8, that gives me a negative 3. And like most of you guys are saying, I need to switch my sign. And the reason why I switched my sign, because I divided by a negative 8. Okay, good, JB. Good person symbol. Okay. JJ iPhone, don't forget your negative. Okay, don't forget the negative. But other than that, you were right there. All right. So, if I want to graph it as an inequality, I just put down my negative 3. If I do it as an inequality, that means we have greater than, so it's not going to be just a circle or open circle. I don't know how you do that, but open dot. Now, b is greater than negative 3. That means I'm shading all the way up to positive infinity. Okay? But if I were to graph it as an inequality, look at me doing two things. If they want you to graph it as an inequality, again, it's a number line. So again, we got a -3. Again, it is going to be greater than. So that means it's going all the way to positive infinity. But since there is no line underneath that inequality, that means we're dealing with a parenthesis. That's how they graph it. And my interval notation, the lowest number always goes first. So -3 is my lowest number. Since it wasn't included, it's a parenthesis. And I was going to say inequalities, obviously. And infinity always gets a parenthesis. Okay. Okay, going to the right. Good. Okay. So anytime you're multiplying or dividing by a negative, you have to flip the inequality sign every single solitary time. And I'm going to be truthful. If you're looking at any test, SAT, ACT, GED, basically every letter of the alphabet, they're always going to have one of the solutions is going to be one of those error ones just because you forgot to flip the sign. It will always be one of them. Okay? All right? Yes, I turned it off. I turned off my gifts. It was driving me crazy. Yeah, I just turned it off. Sorry, JB. Okay. All right, questions on these. Let me unzoom a little bit. Question on this one. Okay, how are we feeling? So one more, or should we close up? Up to you. Okay, Jordan Square, one more. Oh, well, thank you. One more, okay, one more. Sharon, one more, okay. All right, Melody, all right, okay. I will do one more. Can you see emails to order books? Can you see email address to order books, please? Can I see email address to order books? Like, can I see your email address when you order your books? Okay, yes, one more. Got that. Driving, one more, please. No problem. Send. Oh, so you want the email. Okay, gotcha. I was like, I'm trying. So if you want to order books, and plus, the price of the books are going to go right back up in October. So this is like a special sale for the entire month of September. Now, the book that I showed you, that's for like pre-algebra to algebra 1, and that will also be great for the GED and ASVAB people if you want to use as the resource. I am actually, after the one, show the email. It's not email. But I think I know what you're talking about. This. Gotcha. I'm going to make an announcement. Slight announcement at the end of this live. So stick around. Okay? Yep, it definitely works for the T's, especially the entry level of any nursing program. It could be the T's, it could be the ATIs. What's the other one? CLEPs. So many letters. Okay, it'd be also good for IBEWs if you're trying to do electrician apprenticeship. If you're thinking about being in law enforcement, like be a police officer, there's algebra in there as well. So those resources can help you as well. Okay. All right. So I do have one for Algebra 2 and Calculus as well. So if you look in there, you'll see it. So I only have like the latest ones in there. All right, let's do this one. And then what we'll do for tomorrow, we're going to work on complex inequalities. All right, do this work for middle school math teacher praxis. Yes. Yes, it does, Miss Caribbean Queen. Yep, for middle school math. Yep, especially all the essentials, the inequalities, the slope, the equation line. I think they have system of equations in there too. Probability, measures essential tendency, variation, all of that. Okay, not a problem. Parents take the praxis. Yep, good. Can we divide 12 from each side or no? I wouldn't. But you're thinking though, which is good. So what would x equal, or what will be the inequality for x? My nameless face person. Jumping Jan, yes. It will be a closed circle if we did inequalities, yes. So we got Janice, 120, x minus 108. Sharon with 220, x minus 108. Okay, yes, we are going to distribute. And then you got 120x minus 108. Okay, do you do any session on the praxis? I only do praxis for online tutoring. Yep. Because usually it's not a really big call for it online. Okay, so we say infinity to 216. Okay, 120x minus 108. The second part is negative 108 plus 96x. So let's take, we're almost there. So remember, the goal is to isolate our variable. We want to get x by itself. So we're getting bits and pieces. Equal to 0. Saying jumping in is negative 108 minus 96x. We're saying x is greater than or equal to 0. Okay. Let me know when you're ready to go over. You can do a thumbs up, or you can be like, yes, or why. Not so much like a panic face. That would be a little too much. Okay, so Shannon's saying yes. Thank you. Okay, thumbs up. Okay. Okay, one more person. Yes. I work in threes. I don't know why. Yeah, I got a little thumping. Okay, Jordan Square with the yes. Thank you. All right, so we're going to distribute our 12 in the first parenthesis. Then we'll distribute our negative 12 in the second parenthesis. So 12 times 10, that gives you 120x, minus 12 times 9, that gives you 108. Okay. Then we have greater than or equal to negative 12 times 9, which is the same thing. So we have a negative 108. Okay, a negative times a positive, that gives me a negative. And 12 times 8 gives me 96. So we got minus 96x. So we want to get, okay, we want to get our x's on one side. So let's say I want to add my 96x on both sides. Okay, so negative 96x and positive 96x will give me 0. So that means this negative 8 has to come over here. So I can add 108 to both sides. So this is what's going to eventually happen. Eventually, you're going to be able to do your crossing out all on one line. Okay? So, negative 108 and a positive 108, still have my inequality. That gives me a 0. And then we have 120 plus 96, 9, 10, 11, so that'd be 216. Okay. Hey, Danny. All right, so now we're here. Because remember, we had to add. I think a lot of people possibly, let me see, possibly subtract. No one subtracted. Okay, good. Because I was seeing some 96s. So now we need to get x by itself. So you don't keep it like this. you would have to divide both sides by 216. So 0 divided by 216 will still give us 0. And since we divided by a positive 216, my inequality sign stays exactly the same. Okay. All right. Observed. Good. So if I were to graph it as an inequality, here's my 0. Would it be open or closed? Okay, open or closed? Algebra 1. Okay, good. We got Danny with the close, my friend from another land saying close, jumping saying close, or Jan saying close, then saying close, jumping Jan close. Hi. Okay. All right, Jan's closed. Everyone's saying close. Good. Sharon saying closed. Okay, Darlene saying closed. Jordan Square saying closed. Okay, Marvelli saying closed. And since it is x is greater than or equal to 0, that means I'm shading all the way to positive infinity. Okay, if I were to graph it as a interval notation, we still have our 0. We're still going to shade, sorry, I'm trying to grab pens here. I'm still going to shade to the right all the way to positive infinity. But my bracket, because it's including, I'm going to have a bracket opening towards where all my numbers are going to make this into a true statement. Okay? And then my interval notation is going to be 0 because that's the lowest number, all the way to positive infinity. Infinity always gets the parenthesis, and since this includes 0, it will be a bracket. Bracket on the 0 to the right. Good. Okay. All right. How are we feeling? When it's all real numbers, then it's closed? No. When it's all real numbers, it's going to be going from, so here's the symbol for all real numbers. All real numbers means from negative infinity to positive infinity. And it's always going to be parentheses, never brackets. Because remember, infinity doesn't have an end, so it's not bounded. Okay? You get it? Awesome. Nice. Okay, are we okay with that? Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. All right. Fabulous. Okay, so for those that may or may not know, all right, depending on when you got here, all right, if you ever want to, like, say you missed the beginning portion of this and you want to get a copy of it, give me some time for today's live. But if you go here, okay, and you type in this in the search, there is a playlist that says TikTok Lives. So you will see all of my TikTok Lives since February the 2nd. Some days I did it twice, some days I did it once, okay? But I would love for you to do all these 5 things. I would greatly appreciate that, okay? So go ahead, if you want to subscribe it, you want to like, you have a comment with it, watch the videos. You can fast forward, you can rewind it, you can use it for whatever, remediation, especially if you're a teacher or a homeschool parent, do it. It's just an extra resource. It's a free subscription. keep it moving. All right. So for those, as I probably mentioned a little bit earlier, here are my services. If you need a tutor, I know everyone's first test is slowly coming up. If it probably happened today for some states, and for others, it might be next week. But if you need something, if you want a private tutor or even a small group, if some of you guys are doing college algebra and you need some assistance, get your group together. We'll do a group rate, and then we can have some fun with that. But if you know that, hey, I just want to work by myself, I do have courses. We'll take you step by step with a lot of the stuff that's mentioned in the GED, the ACCUPLACER, the ASVAB, and Foundations of Algebra. You can use, if you're thinking of the T's or IBEW or any of those other sources, you can go to the Foundation of Algebra. That will have all the stuff that you need, okay? And you can go here to sign up. That is that. And then I already told you about the books. Now, to better support me, there's two things that have left. To better support me, if you can, if you learned something for today and you're like, ooh, I would love to give her something, I'm going to skip the gifts, because the gifts, I'm telling you, it's basically causing me anxiety because I love to see everybody's putting all their hard-earned money with the gifts. And I'm just like, when I look at the total, this one time I had, 64 gifts, and it was totaled like $1 something. And I got 52 cents because TikTok takes half. I almost cried. So if you want, you can either tip me directly, and I'm just talking about $1 if you want to do that. And this is what my Cash App, or if you're like, you know what, Audrey, I'm tight with money, but you can also support me with my Google review, because I do have a lot of people that look at my Google reviews and they say, oh my gosh, I really like this woman. And you could just do a review for me. All you have to do is just type in the Google search, just my business name. And then you just look at where it says write a review, click on that button, and you could just go ahead and write a review. I would greatly appreciate that. Like, that will be tons of help. Okay, you started Algebra 2 today. Awesome. So you got some resources. Now, when it's all real numbers, then, oh yeah, I already got that part. Now, for me, I'm going to have to be truthful. I'm very truthful and real with you guys. And I know there's 85 of you, now 84. Starting next week, I am going to have very few free sessions like this, okay? In replace of those few sessions, I'm going to be giving what's called like specialized focus. So one of them is like for the ASVAB. So one of them is going to be for the ASVAB. I want to know if people would, and now just when I say it's like a drop-in, I'm literally taking ASVAB for Dummies. I don't like the name of the book, but it's such a good book to help people to reach your ASVAB, and it's called like a $5 drop-in. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to give like a 15-20 minute review in the beginning, and then if you want to come and do deeper work with me, that I'm going to give you like a Zoom link, and we go deeper into the concepts. So it could be some problems like this. It could be like, say, if we were talking about slope. Okay, let's just throw that out there. So we did slope a while ago. So if we're talking about slope, we're looking at like samples of GED questions, and I'm breaking those things down. So not just, okay, this is the general idea. I will give you a couple of problems like this, and then I'm going to close the live and go into a deeper knowledge based. So then I'm actually using GED questions, or if it's ASVAB, I'm using ASVAB questions. I'm using this. So it really focuses on the concept. So that's actually going to start next week. And I'm going to release tomorrow a schedule of when it is, but I'm still giving those free full sessions like I do like this, but there's not going to be too many of them, because I'm going to be truthful. I have to pay my mortgage, guys, and TikTok is just seem like it's not making it happen. But I still want to support you. That's why I want to have certain days that I can do that. Now, if you would love that idea and you want it for college algebra, if you want it for Algebra 1, if you're currently in an Algebra 1 class, if you want it for the T's or the CSIP, message me, okay? Message me, because literally tomorrow I'm basically sitting here in this room and I'm organizing all of this, because I kind of grow a little tired of people saying, I need a tutor, and then they ghost me and disappear. I can't deal with it. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. But there are going to be a couple free sections. But if you really want like a deep dive and really see the connection of it, I might even do like a college algebra when you guys give me some of your questions ahead of time and then we actually work out some of the problems. I can still do like a $5 drop in. That's perfectly fine, but you got to give me the stuff ahead of time. I'm willing to work for you, but at the same time, I have to protect myself. I have to, okay? Because it's great to see a lot of people being successful in some of the coursework and being successful in passing these exams. I mean, there's another person that passed the ASVAB today, and then another person passed the GED, and it's great, but I'm struggling to pay my bills. That's crazy. So here we are. So I have to do that. So that's what I have to do. So if anything, message me. There is a button that says Service Plus. If you click on that button, you can send me a message directly to my email, and then I will respond back to you. I am going to look at my messages here on TikTok, but I try not to live and breathe on TikTok. There's times I have to do, laundry, vacuum, dishes, eat. I am a human being. Usually it's just a lot of the sample questions. Yeah, I don't do a lot of, I just do just the math section. That's it. So anything that has to do, especially with the algebra and some of the statistics, that's it. Okay. And then what I can do, all the fun stuff. Yes. So, but just let me know. Questions on that. I hope you understand. Because I still want to do this, because if I can't do it this way, I'm going to have to stop doing TikTok altogether. Because I have to take care of me. I know it sounds selfish, but that's what I got to do, right? If I don't have a house, it doesn't make sense. I can't be like, oh yeah, let me go somewhere. Okay. All right. So I think $5 is more than fair, especially for you guys to get the individual attention, be able to ask questions. You don't have to type your questions in. If you're going through a Zoom, you can actually just unmute yourself and then speak. And then like, I don't get this, I don't get that, or I get this, I get that. So if that's something that's feasible for you, I'm going to write it up. I'm going to post it so people will know. Okay. Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of time that goes into these things, especially the prep. My gosh, like these questions don't just come out of the sky. Like sometimes I have to really research it and try to hit hard on the things that you need instead of like, oh yeah, I just feel like talking about rational equations. Like, you're not going to see rational equations that much. You'll see a little bit in geometry, but to the extent of throwing sine and cosine in there, yeah, no, you're not going to see that. But could I break it down like that? Yeah, I can. But that's more like pre-calc. Yep, not a problem. Not a problem. All right, so I will see you guys. It's going to be a regular session tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to do compound inequalities. We're going to work on that tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to DM me or see if you can like text or message me, because I do have that in my profile. So, but you can definitely message me. Okay. All right. Yes, Eric. Yes, Eric. Unfortunately, I was working. I missed so much of it. And I had tutoring yesterday at 11 o'clock, 11 to midnight. That was fun. Okay. Pulled the order books. It's not coming out. You pulled up the order books. It's not coming up. All right, Sharon, if anything, message me. Send me a private message and give me your number so I can have a discussion. Because I don't want to keep going back and forth with that. So I can see what exactly you're in need of. Okay? Roll Tide. Who do they play? Wait, who do they play tomorrow? Who do they play tomorrow? I forgot who they play tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, yes, please, Sharon. Do that so we can get that situated. All right, Professor TK. Hey. Now, if any of you guys have any kids that's going into chemistry, do not let your child sit there and suffer. If they need a tutor, make sure you reach out to Professor TK, okay? She knows her stuff. She is on point. I'll even put it on the chat if I can type, okay? So make sure you reach out to Professor TK. And if you guys have younger students or maybe you want a fun way of learning how to basically add, subtract, multiply, divide, make sure you guys go see my friend Learning with Lynette. She is always, when I say always on, she is always on. And she learns how to do math with the abacus. She's been doing that for like 20 plus years and she's amazing with it. She's basically trying to modernize it. So everyone can get that mainstream knowledge. Okay. Nope, nothing much. Just rolling out and wrapping up. All right. So everyone, thank you so much. Again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to message me. And we're going to take it on. Jordan also messaged me again. For some reason, I cannot find, because I could have sworn you sent me a number. If you can, if you still have my number to text me, do that. If not, just send me a message on TikTok. So see if we can do something for tomorrow, if that's possible. You text me today, because of course I'm on here. Can't tell. All right. Thank you. Yes? Okay. All right. I'll double check. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Toodles.